So ayan, 30 na tayo and yeah, I was thinking of why not share yung journey ko from the day I was born up to now that I am officially 30 years old. And yeah, wag na natin pahabain yung intro. Let's get right into it. I asked ChatGPT for some questions that would help me, have a proper flow for this type of content. The first segment would be reflecting on my 20s. The first question is, how did you envision your life at 30 when you were younger? How close is it to your reality now? Well, at that time when I was young, probably in elementary or teenage years, I thought na pag umabot na ako ng 30, marami ng bagay na naiintindihan ko. It's like I am already sure about everything in life. And, as the society has been feeding us, like you already have your family, you already have your kids, probably you already have everything that you have asked for. And at the same time, parang nafe-feel ko yung baka sobrang tanda ko na or yung phase ko by the time that I reach 30 would be the phase that I would be having for the rest of my life. And then how close is it ba to the reality that I have now? Well, first it's fake news that you have figured it out by the age of 30. Alam mo, for me, life is an ending cycle of learning. So it's impossible that you would figure out everything at a specific age, especially at the age of 30. I think malaking impact din dito is because of the pandemic. A lot of years has been not really wasted pero hindi natin sila na-maximize. Alam mo yun? Kasi we were not able to do everything freely. And at the same time, when it comes to the financial, I've thought that by this age I would have saved specific amount of money. But yeah, I have savings, probably more of memory savings, moment savings, Pero I realize it's not just all about money. It's not always about having a lot of money in your bank. I'm not saying you should not save, but tomorrow is not a guarantee. So as long as you are putting something for yourself in the future and you know how to enjoy the moment, and of course learning from the past mistakes, yeah, I think you're good to go. So it's very far from my expectations, to be honest. But do I like it even more? Yes, I actually love it. I did not expect that I'm going to be very excited to be at this age because back then I thought pag umabot ako ng 30, parang baka I would start to hate saying my age. But surprisingly, I love saying that I am officially in the line of three. And yeah, I think a lot has changed in my mindset. Let's go to the next question. The second question is, what are some of the biggest challenges you faced in your 20s? Wow. I think for me, first is what I mentioned earlier is yung pandemic. I think I am not alone in this. A lot of people have gone through a lot of mental battles during the pandemic. Personally, I actually I was very unfortunate kasi I resigned from my job that time a few days before lockdown. And I was supposed to start a new job on the day that lockdown started. So imagine that I was in the middle of a celebration that I wanted to have that sense of achievement that I was able to find a good job, and that job was actually located in Pasig. So it was the first job that I took risk that I wanted to live outside Pampanga. But unfortunately, lockdown happened, COVID-19 happened, and it was one of the biggest challenge because I was unemployed for I think about 6 months. I am very fortunate that my family was there. We were all together during lockdown. We were able to have enough to feed ourselves, to keep ourselves healthy, safe, and at the same time, entertained with the things that we were doing back then. So yeah, being unemployed in the middle of uncertainty was probably one of the biggest challenge I have to face, because I had a lot of could have beens, the regrets, like what if I did not quit my job? Maybe I still have my job back then. Maybe I was still earning. Maybe I was able to support the family during those difficult times. But yeah, I was kind of hard on myself, but I realized eventually that I was very lucky to have a very supportive family. They did not make me feel like I was a burden. It's like everyone was taking their time, that we are connected to each other. We were able to spend a lot of time together. We created a lot of core memories with my parents, my in laws, with my niece and nephews. So, yeah, it was a difficult time, but at the same time, a lot of things happened in a good way. Next question is, um, how did your career in marketing shape up in the past decades? Were there any unexpected turns? Well, yes. I have to include what I said earlier. One of the unexpected turns is I had to stop working. Um, Imagine you graduated 2019, and then by 2020, just a year after you graduated, the pandemic happened. So, uh, I still had the fire in me to continuously work and work and work. But because of what happened, I did not expect that, I would be taking some rest that early. But anyway, my career in marketing has been very, I could say, very complex. Um, I started being a trade marketing manager in one of the FMCG, and then I took some rest, and then I was very lucky because I was contacted by one of the hotels here in Clark to be their marketing consultant. And I was actually very lucky because I was able to keep my profession. Because during those difficult times, I was kind of desperate that I did not care about what position or what job would I have back then. But yeah, fortunately, once again, this hotel reached out to me and they wanted to take me in as their marketing consultant. Uh, Next is yeah, you mentioned that you have been single for 10 years. How has this shaped your personal growth and outlook on relationship? Actually, yeah, I've been single for about 10 years. I think more than 10 years. But a lot has happened already. Um, for me personally, being single for this long is something that can be beautiful and scary at the same time, because yeah, you would eventually develop hyper independence. Like you would feel like you don't need anyone anymore. But at the same time, there would be days that you will feel alone and lonely. That you would feel like, I think it would be nice to have someone who is always there to listen to you, someone who is always there to support you if things are a little bit getting difficult and heavier. Someone would be there right behind you. Yes, you have your friends, yes, you have your family, but of course, it's still different to have a significant person with you, not just behind you, but actually right beside you, who is always willing to support you. Um, with that length, for a decade, I was able to see the different types of relationships that my friends and family had, and I think I was able to have these expectations that once I find someone, I have the standards already, and also I have the things that I have to consider. because there are some relationships that did not work out in my friends and family, and I made sure that I took note of those. All right, so I think we're done with the first segment, and now segment number two is actually about sorry, financial milestone and investments. Okay, so the first question for this segment is: you've been focused on investment since graduating at 24. What drove that decision at such young age? So yes, I graduated 24, so I felt like I was like late when it comes to starting everything already. Um, Imagine you're already 24 and then you just graduated. So I put a lot of pressure in myself. I realized that I have to work double, like work very, very, very hard because I just have a few years before I turn 30. So yeah, I put the pressure in me, and I realized that it was a blessing in disguise because I was able to be focused like a horse with how do you I forgot how you call it, like blind or something like that. I was too focused on my goal that I did not let any distractions happen. So yeah, graduating at that age, I did not give myself a lot of time to breathe and relax. Like I actually started working even before I marched down wearing my black toga because yeah, I actually finished a bit earlier, like a semester earlier than my batchmates. So I had the privilege to have some jump start or a little bit of advantage because I had the few months before a lot of graduates started looking for jobs. Next question is: what are some of the key financial lessons you've learned about saving, investing, and splurging? So there are three: saving, investing, and splurging. Okay. First one is saving. For me, saving has been something that I learned even before I graduated because I used to work as an ESL teacher before I pursued my degree in marketing. So saving is something that is already part of my earning. It's like whenever I receive my salary, a specific amount of money goes directly to my savings, regardless of how much it is. It's actually about you building a routine, like it's like an auto response whenever you receive your salary. Okay, this amount of money should not be spent because they go directly to my savings. Um, so yeah, I think you start with the routine building first before actually trying to save big amount of money from your salary. Because even if you save, let's just say 50% of your salary, but if it is not part of your routine, it's easy to break that. It's easy to let go of that amount, or you might save 10,000 now. By next month you don't save anything, the following month you don't save anything. So yeah, for me, consistency, the routine building is very important when it comes to saving. Second is investing. For me, investing, I'm very fortunate that I was able to have the privilege that I was able to invest on my own house and my car by this age. And for me, the secret to investing, I don't know if a lot of people would agree, but for me, is just doing it. Um, I decided to get my house in a very unimaginable situation. Like the amount that I have to pay monthly during the down payment period was just a few thousand, how can I say, lower than my monthly salary. So imagine, I am panicking every time I have to pay. But Yeah, I am not regretting any decision in that because, I am now living in my own house. But anyway, you just have to do it. For me, the more that you want to prepare yourself, the more that you overthink it. Maybe with the help of faith that I have, especially back then, I I believe that if it is meant for me, it is for me. But I have to do something. So if the house is for me, even if I feel like I'm not going to be earning enough, if it is for me, something will happen. The stars will align, the universe will help me, God will help me, and yes, I think I was proven right that the right job, the right opportunity came in when I was in the middle of paying for my house. And then um, lastly is splurging. For me, splurging is something that I just learned not that long ago, because when I graduated, I was already 24. And then when I graduated, I worked hard. However, the pandemic happened, and then I worked again. And the moment that I started working, I started focusing on, investing on my house and then eventually getting my car. So I didn't really have a lot of extra money to splurge myself back then. So I am very lucky that somehow now that I could splurge myself. And for me, splurging has to be budgeted in a sense that you have your limitations. Okay. Um, like you would not spend up to this amount of money. And you have to identify on what aspect of life do you want to splurge yourself. Do you want to splurge yourself in traveling, in eating, in buying things, or on going to concerts, something like that. For me, it's good if you would identify on how you want to splurge yourself. Personally speaking, I like traveling and I'm a foodie. I love eating. So those are the two things that I prioritize whenever I talk about splurging. I try not to take a lot of items when it comes to splurging. Like for example, if I splurge myself in traveling, I would try to make sure that I don't spend so much on food because traveling itself would already cost me. So yeah, it's really about balance. But again, when is how much is too much because out of all people, your financial capability. Next question: how does owning a house and a car feel like at this life? What advice would you give to others to achieve those goals? Well, to be honest, I've been asked about this question a lot of times. A lot of times, and I still don't know how to answer it. Um, I cannot say I am, of course, I'm happy, but the feeling of literally having a house and having a car, uh, maybe because I know that everything that I have is not just because of my hard work, but because of His grace as well. So I don't feel like everything that I have now is 100% my own. Not that I am being ungrateful, but it's more of me not putting them in my head. Yes, I have the freedom, I have the luxury of having the space of my own. I can go anywhere, everywhere I want because of my car. Uh, the freedom is there, the flexibility is there. I can meet my friends or I can just ask them to come over without worrying about anything. But in the end of the day, I don't let these things go into my head because you would end up being arrogant. You would end up just being boastful about the things that you already have. One thing that I learned in life is you have to be humble because anytime everything can be taken away from you. Oh yeah, that's that. Next question is: Now that you've, oh, sorry, the latter question is, what advice would you give to others trying to achieve those goals? For me, do it scared. Do it scared, do it uncertain, do it um, if you feel like you're unprepared, but you are willing to face the challenges, you are willing to push yourself, do it. Because again, you would never be prepared if you overthink. As long as you know to yourself that I would do everything, I would do anything to make sure that I would achieve this, then just start. You know, when I, as I mentioned, when I got my house, I wasn't, or I was not earning that much, but I know to myself that I would do everything to produce that amount of money that I have to pay all monthly. And then second, with the car, I actually got it when I just started with the job that I previously had. Imagine, I was not even a month in my employer, but I was so, I don't know, I was so, how can I say, I was full of courage to get a car. And yeah, now I think, my car has been with me for about 18 or 17 months already. So for me, you would never be ready, but you just have to make sure that you know yourself that you would literally fight for what you want to achieve. Okay, so I think that concludes the segment number two. Um, Now, segment number three is about personal growth and self care. Now, for this, the first question is, how have your views on self care evolved over the years, especially as you balance work, family, and personal time? For me, self care has was not really an issue. As I mentioned earlier, I've been single for a decade already. So self care was something that I do on a regular basis. But considering that I have a big family and also I have a lot of friends, I make sure that I have a time for myself, not just the time that I have in my house, but I literally go out, like, go to the mall, go to park, drive around, something like that. I would make sure that I would bring myself out and do something. It should not always be inside the house, because sometimes if you just do everything inside the house, it would feel like it's not really like something very special. So yeah, my way of self-care is bringing myself out, regardless if I have to buy something or whatever. Sometimes I love a spontaneous me time. Like, I would go out and then suddenly I walk past. One time I walked past a brow salon, and then I decided to had my brows cleaned, something like that. Or yeah, just a few days ago I got my nails cleaned, something like that. So yeah, being spontaneous with yourself is one of the most underrated thing to do. So yeah, next question is, what does being part of the LGBTQIA plus community mean to you now compared to when you were younger? Yes, well, to be honest, I did not really have, like a coming out story, or because I am still trying to learn about myself, about my soji. I still cannot really put a label into it. But if I have to answer right now, probably the best um, word or label that falls under my umbrella would be being pansexual. It's hard because way back then, I knew all along that I was not the typical guys. I was not part of the normal boy group when I was young. I was hanging out with them. I was making childhood memories. I was playing with them. I was telling jokes with them. I was even fighting with them. But I knew all along that something was, that time I would use the word wrong. I felt like something was wrong with me. I felt like I do not belong. I felt like I have to blend in. So instead of focusing on trying to figure that out, like that thing that I have in me, I became so busy trying to blend in. I was trying to act normal. I was trying to do what my friends does. I was trying to be a normal kid without realizing that since I was forcing myself to be normal, my uniqueness was more amplified. And with that, I got bullying experience. I got called names. There were even adults in our community or in our area that were picking on me, which until now, I'm trying to have a hard time understanding them because they were grown up adults and they were picking on me, making me feel like I do not belong. But um, you know, now that am here, I am in the stage that the opinions of other people don't matter anymore unless I value you, unless I value you as a person. I would listen to your opinion. I As long as your opinion means well to me, I would listen to it. But if you are the person who I don't mind, I don't care, or don't have any contribution to my current self, yeah, I don't pay attention to those opinions anymore. And it's very liberating to be able to talk about this right now because I have a lot of friends, and some of my friends, whom I met way before I realized my Soji, I'm sure they have a lot of questions as well. And I'm sure they knew they had some thoughts, but fortunately I was not forced, I was not pulled out of the closet, you know. Um I think you cannot really avoid as teenagers that they would be kind of teasing you. But for me, it's not really big of a deal because these people were able to how can I say, teach me a lot of things. They were able to show care, love, and support to me, especially at this time. So yeah, and I'm just very glad that I can speak about this freely. And oh yeah, so now we are on the last segment, which is looking forward. So probably this is very future oriented questions. Thank you, ChatGPT, once again. So first question here is what are some goals or dreams you have for your 30s? Well, first is I hope that I would continue to have this how can I say, energy, something that my friends has been telling me. I hope that I would not lose this energy. I hope I would not lose this um, the love and care that I give to people. That's first. Second is I hope that I would be able to experience more things in life. I would not limit myself from experiencing a lot of things, and I hope to travel more. Traveling is something that really sparks joy in my soul. So yeah, that's that. Next question is: are there any things you wish you could tell your younger self as you begin this new chapter? Okay. Um, if I have to speak to my younger self, maybe to be specific, to my first year high school student self, I think I was 12 years old back then, 18 years ago. Probably I would tell this person not to be afraid of what people has to say. Do not worry about what they would say. Do not worry about what they think. As long as you're not stepping on someone's shoe, as long as you're not doing anything wrong, you just have to live. You don't have to figure out what your gender is. You just have to continuously living. You're gonna meet a lot of beautiful people. You're gonna be meeting a lot of people that would teach you life lessons, of course. But yeah, I hope that you would continue to believe in yourself. You are more capable than what you think. A lot of people believe in you. Sadly, it took us quite a while for us to start believing in ourselves. But yeah, we'll get there. And yeah, do not rush growing old. Just enjoy every moment of it. Whew, okay. And then now is, what's one thing about turning 30 that excites you the most? And one thing that makes you nervous? Okay. One thing that excites me the most is, it's like a new chapter in life because you are changing the first number of your age. So it feels like I can either stop everything and then start fresh, or just continue whatever I want to continue and then drop off anything that I don't want to continue. It feels like a checkpoint that you can put down the baggages that you no longer want to carry, the memories, the people, anything that you don't want to carry with you. It's like a checkpoint, and I love the fact that now aging is being celebrated. For me, I don't know, but I was very very excited to turn 30 because somehow it's like an official age of an adult, and at the same time, um, people see you in a more serious way. Um, I mean, I've been taken seriously by a lot of people, but I don't know. It's just me. I feel like when you are in your 30s, people would feel like you have more wisdom, you have more understanding in life. And the one thing that scares me is maybe the change in physical capacity. I still want to do a lot of things, especially traveling, which I said already. Um, I hope that my age would not, or I hope that my body would not age um, that fast, so that I can still be able to do the things that I want to do in life. I hope that I would continue to be physically capable. I don't want to focus on the things that scares me, but yeah, I'm hopeful that my body would stay healthy. And yeah, maybe. Oh, last question from ChatGPT is, how do you plan to balance work, personal life, and your newfound enjoyment in splurging yourself and your family? Wow, that's a lot. So yeah, the question is about work, personal life, and splurging for myself and my family. First is, yeah, work. I really did my best to find a job that would um, help me work from home, which I'm very fortunate I have. So the fact that I have a full time job and I'm working from home or anywhere I want to is already a way to balance it, because I don't have to dress up, I don't have to commute, or I don't have to drive. I don't have to worry about the traffic and whatever. I have the luxury of working from home. So with that, I already feel like that side of my life is already balanced. um, and then I also am a fan of, once I clock out, I clock out. I stop thinking about work, or I stop working the moment I clock out. Second is personal life. Personal life, you know, I think I have a very good control about that. I really prioritize about my well-being. I prioritize spending time for myself. I make sure that I don't overwork myself. I don't abuse myself physically, because we're not getting any younger. So yeah, I plan to do more physical activities that would help me be more active, be healthier. I wish that I would have the consistency to um, go back to being active, going to the gym or whatever sports I would be playing. Which I mean, recently I started playing golf, but because of difficult schedules, I became kind of inconsistent to it. So yeah, I'm hoping for consistency when it comes to working on my health and being more active. And lastly is about splurging for myself and for my family. So yeah, this is something that I would actually really figure out on how I want to do it. But one thing is for sure that whenever there is a birthday happening within my family, I make sure that there would be, a celebration. It doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to be grand or expensive, but as long as it is being celebrated, or any milestones that my family, especially my niece and nephews, have achieved, I have to make sure that I want to make them feel that it is seen, it is recognized, and it is being celebrated. So yeah, I think those are all the questions that ChatGPT prepared for me to reflect on my 30s. And maybe I just want to conclude this message to give a message that would go to everyone who I came across with, regardless if we are still connected or no longer connected, or we still talk or no longer talk. I want to say thank you to everyone who um, have passed or touched my life. It doesn't have, regardless if it is just a few seconds, a few minutes. Everyone who I met, who I came across with in my whole 30 years of existence, have a contribution to who I am right now. To the people that I have outgrown and no longer talk with, I still wish you the best. We may not be in the same path as now, but I wish that you achieve all the dreams that you have. I hope that you would continue to work on yourself and be better, like I will always do. And then to my friends who have been with me since day one, since the day that we met, I want to say thank you, because yes, this is the product of your love and support. I was able to achieve a lot of things. I was able to realize a lot of things, and I found happiness because you're there, because of your support, and I wish that we would have more time, or a lifetime that we would be sharing. And lastly, to my family, thank you for the support, the unconditional love, for everything. The life before was not easy for us, but now I'm just very, very, very glad that we are having a better life. We may not have the best life, but I could say I have the best support system in you. Let's continue supporting each other. Let's continue loving each other, and let's I hope we will not get tired of understanding and forgiving each other, regardless of what happened. So yeah. But anyway, yeah, thank you so much for watching. I know it has been quite a long video, but yeah, if you stayed up to this time, thank you so much, and yes, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.